My name is Jocelyn Sullivan, and I am the mother of Jessica Nicole Reed. We're out here in Mounts Corner, just left the Berkeley County Sheriff's Department, speaking with detectives. The case of McCalvey, my daughter Jessica Reed. I have regrets in which I am very sorry about, because when my daughter was drugged and raped, I wanted to do nothing but protect her. I didn't want her to suffer anymore. I didn't want her to feel that pain anymore. And so I did not let her testify. And because of that, today we are finding out that Mr. McCalvey is going to get away with what he did to my daughter, Jessica, and this family. For all these years, we've been suffering, going through pain and anguish over his decisions. Molest my daughter, rape her. And now she has to deal with this, and we have to deal with this. And I'm so sorry that I didn't take the initiative then to persecute him for what he did to my daughter. I'm sorry. He came to our home and he acted as if he was going to be a friend to us. He came to us and said, "Don't worry, nothing's going to happen to her, and I'll make sure that she'll be safe." He eluded us to believe and trust in him. And then he turns around and violates my daughter by raping and drugging her. And then he gets away with it. When I made the decision not for my daughter to testify, I was focused on her well-being, and I wanted the best for her. I didn't want to put her in a stand to relive all of that pain and suffering. And now, 17 years later, because he continues to make mockery about it, joke and laugh about it, like it doesn't even matter to him, or he has no regrets or anything. Then he tries to cover it up with his money and his high-class attorneys. And now, he's not going to be punished for it. Justice is not fair, and we will not stop fighting. We will fight for justice and closure for my daughter Jessica and this family. According to the detectives, because he negotiated a plea deal, he cannot be prosecuted for the rape charge. So what they did was just dismiss it. They didn't even prosecute the rape charge because my daughter wasn't there. And so they let him plead. DNA did not clear him innocent. DNA has nothing to do with it at all. He's guilty no matter what anyone says. 17 years later, she's still suffering from it. We're still suffering with her from it. And justice needs to be served regardless. He deserves to be punished for what he did.
Hello, my name is Jessica Reed. I'm 32 years old. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I left New York when I was 6 years old after my father passed away. We moved to Charleston, South Carolina, lived there for about 5 years, and we moved to Somerville and lived there for for 2 years. Today I'm here to talk about what happened in June 2001. A lot of you have heard Charlamagne's story, but today I'm here to set the record straight about what really happened that night. I met Charlamagne through a mutual friend. His name is Rico. I met Rico through my best friend. Her name is Shaniqua Epps. The night I met Charlamagne, Rico and I were hanging out. He told me he had some business to take care of and he had to stop by the radio station, Z93. So where I'm at right now, standing right in front of what used to be Z93 radio station, here is where I met Charlamagne. Like I said previously, I was introduced to him by Rico, who was a mutual friend of both Charlamagne and mine. Charlamagne worked at the time as a radio DJ. He introduced us. Rico introduced Charlamagne and I sat down. Rico and Charlamagne were discussing music. I kind of sat back while they talked. We left the station, and about 2 days later, Charlamagne called me. I'm not sure how he got my number because I didn't give it to him, but I'm assuming that Rico gave him my number. At the time I met Charlamagne, I was 15 years old. He told me he was 20. Just finding out recently he was actually 22 years old at the time. Our relationship was strictly platonic. We were friends and only friends. We are at Tree Haven Apartments. This is where Charlamagne came to meet my mom for the first time. Came upstairs to this apartment here to my left, came to meet my mother, spoke to her, introduced himself, and on that day he took me and my best friend out to lunch to a Chinese buffet. I knew him about maybe, I want to say a month and a half before the incident.
He also, during that time when he introduced himself to me, he said that he would watch over them and promised that they would be fine, and I had nothing to worry about, that they would be safe with him. He came off like he was a brother to a sister kind of relationship, and I trusted this person and allowed my daughter and her friend to go and have lunch at that time. I did not know, and I want to stress it very clearly, I did not know his age at that time. I just figured that he was a friend, hang around friend, possibly even high school. So yes, he did come and he did assure me that my daughter and her girlfriend would be safe with him. So the second time Charlamagne came to my home, I wasn't here. I'm not sure where I was, but my brother answered the door, told Charlamagne I wasn't here. And that was the second occasion. The third occasion was the day of the party. Charlamagne called me one day and told me he was having a party, a beach party, and invited me to the beach party. Initially I said no, but then he said the party was actually for him. It was his birthday. And he said, you know, you're like my sister, you have to be there. And I told him, I said, okay. Give me a second. So he told me it was his birthday party and I had to be there. He said, you're like my sister, I want you to come. And I told him, I said, okay, I would come. So I called my best friend and I asked her if she wanted to go. And she said that she would think about it. She got back to me and said she couldn't go. So I asked my brother's girlfriend at the time, her name is Malika Joyner, and she said that she would go with me. Or the day of the party, I got a call from Charlamagne and asked if we were ready. And we told him yes. So he came to pick us up. There were two vehicles. It was a Yukon and I believe it was a Talon, if I'm not mistaken, a sports car. He had a few guys with him, and one of those guys was a cousin of his by the name of Kenta Palmer. Kenta Palmer was the one driving the sports vehicle. Prior to this day, I had never met Kenta or any of the guys who came to pick us up. I just assumed they were friends and family of his because he was having this alleged birthday party. There were a few guys in the truck and one guy in the sports car. They picked us up late afternoon. Malika and I got into the vehicles. We left. From there, we went to his father's house. Once we got there, I met his father. And there was a few other people there, which I believe were his family members. And they were sitting in there watching TV.
We sat there for a while. We left his parents' house and got into the vehicles and drove to, I believe it was a gas station. At the gas station, Malika called my mom to check in to let her know we were okay. I believe Charlamagne and someone else got out and went inside the gas station, came back into the vehicles, and then we drove to the villa. Once we got there, went inside. Give me a minute. Right now we are at the Short Stay Villa in Mox Corner. This is where everything took place on June 2001. As you can see, in order to access the villa, you need a military pass. Someone by the name of Derek Major got the villa for Charlamagne that night. I know Charlamagne repeatedly says that this party was for a cousin of his named Kenta Palmer, but I was told from Charlamagne himself that this party was for him. It was his birthday. That's the only reason I came. The first thing I noticed is there were just a whole bunch of guys there. I think there were 2 other females, but they were in the back outside, and I could see them through the sliding door, but it was majority guys. Villa number 30, this is where the party was. Me and Malika walked into the party with Charlamagne, his friends and cousins. Whew. I do not want to tell that story again. I don't even want to do bits and pieces of it. Fucking over it. Malika and I sat down, and Charlamagne asked us if we wanted something to drink. Malika took a drink, but I told him I was fine. I didn't want to drink. But it's like he kept pressuring me to drink. He was like, this is where Charlamagne gave Malika and I the drinks. He himself made those drinks. He told me that I could trust him. I was like his sister. He would let nothing happen to me that night. He repeatedly asked me over and over and over if I wanted to drink, and even after telling him no several times, he still pressured me. I finally took a drink. Now, mind you, I'm 15 years old. I'm a child. I'm a minor. I'm being pressured into drinking by someone who I thought I could trust. I let my guards down. And I said, you know what? This is my friend. He won't let anything happen to me. And he betrayed me. He allowed his friends or cousins or whoever those guys were to take advantage of me, and he himself took advantage of me as well. He brought me here and left me here.
All right, good evening. This is the Star Report. My name is Star. I'm your host, and I have Malika Joyner on the line with me, the friend and relative of Jessica Reed, who was indeed raped in 2001 in South Carolina at a party where Leonard McKelvey, also known as Charlamagne, did take a plea to contributing to the delinquency of a minor. But Malika, you have come forward. You contacted me, and you want to tell...
Yes.
You want to tell what you saw? I mean, let's just get right to it. What did you see that...
Well, okay, we can get right to it. We were offered drinks. There was something in the drink.
He went in the kitchen, made a drink for me. I took the drink, and I sat next to Malika, and I was drinking my drink, and she was just about done with hers. She just, out of the blue, started throwing up. And the funny thing about it was, after she was throwing up, he kept asking her or trying to give her more drinks. And she was like, I can't drink anymore.
Because I didn't know who he was, on the radio. That was my first time ever meeting him. Mm-hmm. I was introduced through Jessica. I knew nothing about him. I was basically going there. She asked me if I would like to go with her. So I said, yeah, I'll go with you,
right.
So I didn't know him at all prior to this event occurring. I didn't know who he was.
I sat my cup down and I just said, okay, I started feeling weird. And I said, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. This is what I told myself. And when I got up to go to the bathroom, I fell to the floor. I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't move my arms. It's like I had no control over my limbs. I could see and I could hear, but I couldn't move. So I heard the guys in the back and they were laughing, and Charlamagne was laughing. And he told them to take me upstairs. Taken upstairs by two guys, one named Larry and one named Boo, who took me into a bathroom and violated me and took advantage of me. Charlamagne allowed these guys to take me upstairs. In fact, he told them to take me upstairs after giving me a drink with a drug in it. I got up off the couch and I couldn't even move. I collapsed to the floor, and all he could do was laugh. He didn't ask if I was okay. He didn't help me up. He laughed. So he took me upstairs, and then he took me into the bathroom.
I did see two people escort her upstairs, but like I said, I myself was throwing up and so forth. I was out of it too, but I was still able to know what was, able to see and hear what was going on. But it was like everything for me was slow motion. But she was escorted up the stairs with two gentlemen.
Okay. They took me upstairs and took me into the bathroom. And I don't know if I can do this. They took me upstairs and took me into the bathroom. And they had my arms like this. One was here and one was here. And they were holding me up because I couldn't hold myself up. And I had a dress on. I had one arm like this, and Larry was holding me up. And Boo had this other arm, but with his other hand, he was just forcing his fingers in my vagina. And I was just sitting there helpless. I couldn't do nothing. I cannot do this.
At any point were you in the room together with Jessica when she was being raped, or were you in another room and you came in? How did that play out?
No, she was upstairs. I was downstairs.
Okay.
When they were finished, they just left me in the bathroom and I fell to the floor. And I was just laying on the floor crying. I was just laying there. And then somebody came into the bathroom, picked me up, and put me in the bedroom. left me in the bedroom, closed the door behind him. I don't know how long I was laying there for, but Larry ended up coming in the bedroom. He came in, he got on the bed, and he started to rub his penis on my body. And all I could do at the time was just try to roll around on the bed. And I was rolling until I eventually fell off the bed. I don't know. I don't even know how I got back onto the bed. I don't even know. But he left. And then Charlamagne came into the room. And I saw Charlamagne's face with my own eyes. When he opened that door, I saw his face. I saw his face. I heard his voice while he was raping me. There's nothing that nobody can say. And started taking off my clothes. And started talking to me in the process. And he kept saying things like, I told you I was going to take care of you and nothing was going to happen to you.
But because I was throwing up, I was still coherent. I was still able to, I was still aware of my surroundings. So
Okay.
He couldn't really, he gave up with me, he was kissing on me, trying to unbutton my shirt. I was determined, that was not going to happen. And in the process of him not being able to sexually, come on to me the way he wanted to, because I was still able to, to know what's going on, then that's, where Jessica, he went to Jessica.
I told you I was going to take care of you and nothing's going to happen to you. This is Charlamagne, and he just kept going on and on. And then he started kissing me and he started kissing me. He started kissing me. The whole time he's doing all of these things, I was there crying. That's why it's so hard. Like, as I'm saying it, it's replaying in my head and I can see it happening. He was kissing me everywhere. And I'm laying there crying. And he's like trying to shush me. He's trying to shush me. I'm sitting there crying, and he tries to shush me. And then he performs oral sex on me. And then he rapes me. And I was trying to move, but I don't know, he was heavy. And it was like nothing I could do.
I was downstairs when Jessica went upstairs to the bathroom, and she was gone quite a while. At that time, I was thrown up and so forth, so it took me quite a bit of time to get to her. But what made me get up to get to her, not even that she was gone for so long, but I heard yelling and screaming, a lot of noise, and like something wasn't right. So that's what made me get up to go find Jessica. And in the process of me finding Jessica, I did see Charlamagne on top of Jessica, and Jessica was very hysterical. Oh gosh, it was horrible.
I was laying on the bed with no clothes on, and I remember somebody opening the door.
Okay, so you went upstairs and you had to push your way into the room, or the door was open? What?
No, the door was closed. It was not open whatsoever. I had to literally get in. I don't know how, but I mustered up the energy to get in that room.
Okay.
And like I said, I did see Charlamagne on top of Jessica. And in the process, because it was more of a shock, like, how did she get in here? You know, he jumped off her and proceed to run out.
Mm-hmm. So when you came into the room and you claimed that you...
Jessica was hysterical. She was yelling and screaming. I'm trying to figure out, you know, I'm just in shock because I couldn't believe what I saw. Mm-hmm. Like, I was really like, oh my gosh, you know, like, she was, and I'm trying to calm her down and just be there for her. And she had no clothes on. It was horrible. You know, she was yelling, screaming, saying they raped me, they touched me, you know, and it was, wow, it was a lot to take on.
So when you came into the room, did you see, I'm sorry, when you came into the room, did you see Charlamagne's pants down, or did you see him naked? What was...
His pants was down. Yes, his pants was down. When he jumped up, he pulled everything up.
Okay.
And ran out the room.
And then Malika staggered in, and she was asking me where my clothes were. And I told her I didn't know. I told her I didn't know where they were. And then, I don't know, it was weird. I told her I didn't know where my clothes were. And then Larry, no, excuse me. I told her I didn't know what my clothes were. And I think I started yelling or something. And Larry told me to shut the fuck up before he kicked me in the head. And I was like, where's my clothes? Where's my clothes? Where's my clothes? And he said, Larry said, ain't nobody do nothing to you. You just acting crazy for no reason. And I just kept saying, where's my clothes? Where's my clothes? I just started screaming. And then when I started screaming, everybody ran. Everybody left. Everybody left. I wasn't in any shape to call the police or speak to the police. I don't know how they were called. I know Malika and I ended up downstairs outside of the villa in the front, and we were just sitting out there in the dark. And then a black car pulled up and asked us if we were okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I think either he called or Malika called. I'm not sure who called the police, but someone called the police because we went to the hospital that night.
I'm the one that called her mother, her brother. We got the EMS out there. I was the one that was there with her, so she wasn't by herself.
So right now we're at Somerville Medical Center. After the incident took place at the villa, the emergency room picked up me and Malika, and this is where they brought us. When I arrived here, my mother was here, my brother was here, and also a friend of the family who was actually the chaplain that night. Her name is Betty Broomfield. They were here.
Early morning, I received a phone call, and I could hear Jessica screaming in the background. Malika talked on the phone, and she did not know exactly where they were. Someone stopped and let them use their cell phone so that they can contact me. Immediately, I called 911 to have someone dispatched over to where the incident occurred. I stayed on the phone until I heard from an ambulance technician to tell me where they were taking my daughter Jessica Reed and Malika Joyner. They informed me that they were going to take them to the Somerville Medical Center. Me and family rushed to the hospital only to see my daughter lying on the emergency bed, screaming, traumatized, and in shock. It was one of the worst days of my life. And the family was so upset to see her in that type of position.
Charlamagne did not come to the hospital. Charlamagne did not call me the day after. I had never heard from Charlamagne again after that night. And he's the one who invited me to the party. He's the one who took me to the party, and he left me there.
If you're so innocent and you didn't do anything, why didn't you pick up the phone and call somebody? Why didn't you ask, hey, is Jessica okay? You brought me to that party. You never picked up the phone to call. You never stopped by my house to check on me because you knew you were guilty. You knew what you had done.
Don't be so naive. You don't know who this man is. You didn't know who he was back then. Don't believe everything you hear. Look at the facts. Listen to him tell his story. It makes no sense at all. This man picked me up. We had a relationship, first of all. And he's done a few interviews where he claimed he didn't even know who I was. Ask questions. He picked me up, took me to a party, and abandoned me.
What happened
That's
after
correct.
that incident took place? Did you ever see Charlamagne again?
No, it took a toll on her family. It was very hard on everybody, even the relationship between me and her brother. It just affected us in so many ways. And recently, once that happened, it was horrible. We ended up moving. We all relocated, shortly after the incident has happened. And then once me and her brother was not able to, work things out due to this horrible event.
Nightmare.
I relocated and moved on with my life.
Yeah. So now, after this rape occurred with Jessica, and you're saying, Charlamagne, I'm not putting this on him, but
Yes.
these are your statements. And I would imagine Monk's Corner is a small town. How awkward was it for you guys to live there and to hear him on the radio?
It was really hard, I don't see how someone can do that and then act like nothing happened.
There's so much hate that I have for him. And I shouldn't say that. But there's so much of me that hates that man because my life has never been the same ever since that night. Never. And I don't know if I'll ever be the same. I turn on the radio, I hear your voice. I turn on TV, I see your face. I've been in counseling on and off for 5 to 6 years. Medication, anxiety attacks, depression, all because of you. And now you want to portray me as some groupie, some girl who you didn't know, you just invited me to a party. No. Say my name. You know me. You know how we met. You've called my house. You've met my mom. You met my brother. You picked me up, took me out to lunch. You called me your little sister. We had a friendship. And you lied. The same way you lying to all these people. You're not innocent, and you know you're not innocent. I don't even know how you sleep at night. But it's not over. It's not over. Just know that. I'm gonna keep speaking. I'm gonna get my justice. The truth is going to be revealed. This is not over. So, due to the fact that I was a minor, only 15 when everything happened, my mom thought it was best that I did not take the stand and testify against Charlamagne. I wanted to, I was willing, I was ready. I wanted to speak and I wanted to tell the truth and I wanted him to pay for what he did. But know that the only reason he is where he is today is because I was not able to speak. And I really wish I could have spoken. It's not getting better for me. To have to see someone who violated you every day on TV, going on with his life like nothing ever happened. Like that part of his life never happened. And I'm here suffering every single day. I know what I know and I know my truth and I will stand by that until the day I die. This isn't about money for me. This is about justice. It's about closure. It's about being able to move on with my life. I've made it very clear I want nothing from this man. No amount of money he gives me is going to give me back what he took. Mentally, emotionally, I have never been the same. He has never acknowledged me. He's gotten on his radio show and said he's praying for the victim and her family, as if he doesn't know who I am. He knows who I am. He knows me very well. He knows what happened that night, and no matter how much you try to cover it up, the truth is gonna come out. I promise you. People can see through your lies. Nobody believes you. People can see it. I want to take this time to thank everyone who supported me so far. I want to take the time to thank those who have given me a platform to speak. As you have seen, not too many people have reached out to me. A lot of the main outlets wouldn't even speak about this case until Charlamagne said something about it. As disappointing as that is, I still have to keep moving forward and appreciate those who have given me a platform to tell my story. A lot of people have reached out to me and shared their sexual assault stories. And I want to say that I believe you, I stand with you, and thank you. It's not easy talking about
what has happened to you. It's not easy coming out and having people scrutinize you and say you have hidden agendas when you know deep down in your heart that all you want to do is move on with your life and all you want is justice. So I thank everyone who has supported me. I thank everyone who has emailed me. Thank you for showing me love, for giving me kind words, because it has motivated me and it has helped me to continue moving forward. Thank you. I haven't been back here since it happened.
Why would you?
I'm just saying. I mean, we moved. We left. I haven't been to Somerville since, I don't know, I guess since it happened. I mean, I came back to Charleston to visit my family, but never been back to Somerville.
That was hard.
Yeah.
Make even the best gift givers jealous. Buy one, get one half off mix and match collectibles during the game day sale at GameStop. Joy to the players.
In my super chat, and you see people give me $2, $5, maybe $20. I mean, at the end of the day, I might go to the store and buy a bag of potato chips because that's all it is enough to do. Buy a bag of potato chips.
So you ain't got no fundraisers or nothing?
Do you see any fundraisers?
Well, you getting donations from your PayPal from
All right.
subscribers
So
and
now,
people.
once again, do you see me riding around even though I have cars before the donations? I'm in a house right now. In a house right now. Do you see me riding around with brand new cars? Do you see me going on shopping sprees? Just because
you
somebody
ain't gotta ride around with brand new cars or go on shopping spree. The money going into your account.
Listen.
And being used towards your bills.
First of all, hold up. First of all, for one, as a matter of fact, hold up. First of all, I'm glad you said that. For one, I haven't got enough donations to show some paperwork on. For two, if I felt like it, here's the difference. If I felt like it, because it's a difference between a person scamming people and people donating. If I felt like taking money that people gave to me and go on a fucking vacation, which I didn't do, you see these bags up under my eyes? I deserve it. I deserve it. If I felt like going to do something to make me feel good because of all of the stress that I've been put through, I deserve it. I do what the fuck I want to. If I felt like taking some of that money and throwing it in the air and burning it